computer. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good morning to all my panelists and my guests and all the people on the replay. We're so excited to have you here. And my name is Jeannie, if you have forgotten, stress coach and breathwork boss. So we're so excited here. This is going to be an informal questions and panel of current and past clients. Some have worked with me for a while, some are new, some are recent. So we just really wanted to highlight and showcase, and if there's any doubts or questions or fears. And if you're watching this on the replay and still have questions, then of course you can email me. If you have a question for any of my lovely clients, I can pass that along and we'll figure out how to get an answer to you, or we'll make all the magic happen. So thank you again for being here. My clients, past and present, are all volunteering their time. And I asked, and it was not, they're doing this to really help and facilitate, because I know we have a lot of questions. Who here, by the way, has worked with a therapist before working with me? Anyone worked with a therapist before? Okay. Interesting. Who's ever worked with a coach before? Has anyone ever worked with a coach before?
Before you or
yeah, before. Yeah. Anyway, so no one's worked with a coach. Okay, but we've all worked with, okay, so perfect. This is what I get a lot of questions about too. Well, I've worked with a therapist. So what's the difference? And that's what I really want to explain too. So go ahead if you want to unmute yourself. I'm going to just have each of you present just your name if you want to share where you're from or where you live, because we've got some international love here. And just your name, where you live, and just one small thing about you, then we'll jump in. So I'll just call just who I see on the screen. So let's go ahead, Rachel S. We've got two Rachels here, so thank you.
Hello, I'm Rachel Sayer, and I am in Barcelona. I live in Barcelona, and I'm from Chicago, and I'm a teacher.
We've got a couple teachers here. Okay. Yes, Miss Megan. Unmute, love. Oh no, it froze. She's in her.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Megan. Okay, next I'll go to Tara, and then Megan will come back to you. Yes.
It's frozen.
It froze.
Yeah. Okay,
hey, Megan,
hi.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Megan. All right, Miss Tara M.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tara Mason. I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, mother of 2 adult children, and I'm a teacher as well, but middle school.
Yeah, Rachel was middle school too.
I used to be middle school.
And I was high school. Okay, Rachel G, I see you next on the screen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel. I live in New York City, and I work in marketing.
Awesome. And Kristen?
Hi guys, I'm Kristen. I'm in the Bay Area, Northern California. I'm a speech therapist, and I have 2 kids, 12 and almost 15, including one neurodiverse. And I found Jeannie through kind of that realm.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, Miss Christina. We can't see your whole face, love. There we go. Okay, awesome. Oh, unmute too, love.
Hi, I'm Christina. I'm my current location, I guess, is LA right now. And then my occupation, I'm actually an actress. So yeah.
Yes, she is.
Cool.
Okay, Miss Holly. Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, there we go. Try keep going. Can you guys hear her?
No.
Let me go to
now. Sorry.
Now we can hear you. Yeah, and then we'll go to Megan right after.
My voice is super low in the morning, by the way.
Ooh, sounds sexy.
My name is Sally. I live in LA, and I'm a musician.
Awesome. Okay, Megan. A little bit.
Hello. Okay, sorry guys, I'm in the car. I'm driving somewhere right now. So I'm Megan. I am from San Diego, and I'm a yoga instructor.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So I am going to just kind of jump in, and we'll keep this round table. So we said that we could raise our hands and or you could raise the hand on here. And I just want to kind of confirm, I've never done a round table before. So I had questions of, I'm in my stretch zone, never doing this, but really excited. And anyone else in their stretch zone right now with trying something new? Yeah. Okay. Anyone feel like hiring me or working with me with stretch zone to get out of their comfort zone? Yeah. Every time I've worked with, I think every hand is up, right? And if it wasn't, that's okay. Okay. So don't feel like, oh, I have to say something, but yeah. So this is really common. So remember how I said that excitement, that stretchiness, that's part of the game. Okay. So what I'd like to ask is, if anyone wants to share, you can just raise your hand and we'll call on you. Like, what was the reason? What were your goals, your objectives with working with a coach, with working with me? Does anyone remember or anyone want to share? Because everyone, I work with people for different things. Okay, Kristen.
So my first experience with Jeannie was I don't know if it was your first stress detox, but it was a couple of stress detox groups ago.
Yeah.
And I remember, and it was during COVID and everything was a hot mess. And I remember during that time learning about a body scan and actually feeling what it was to get in my body for the first time, which was new for me. And then also you did a thing on tapping, I remember too. And those two things really kind of brought me into my body for the first time in a very, very long time. And you were saying things that were resonating with me. And I realized during that stress detox that I didn't even know myself anymore, that I had pushed things down for so long and so many years that I didn't even know. I mean, somebody asked me, well, what kind of food do you like? And I couldn't even answer. Like I had just put everything on everyone else for so long. And I, distracted, avoided, pushed down, etc. So anyway, that's kind of why I reached out. And I will say this for anybody else who watches this that might be in the same boat I was in. I literally, after that stress detox, Jeannie gave her calendar, and I had her calendar. It's embarrassing. I had her calendar up on my screen for 3 days before I could even make the appointment. So, and I was very much panic zone to do that, and very panic zone to have the first call. So anyway, if anybody else is in that boat, I hear you, and I'm just going to tell you it's worth it. So I guess that was my go-to. And then from there, we just sort of figured it out.
Yeah. Anyone else? I know sometimes people think, if I work with a coach, I have to know exactly what we're going to talk about every time and have to have all my objectives. I think sometimes, because I do have a form that I share with you before a call. And a lot of times you notice we don't even stay on the form. Things just come up organic. Have anyone ever had a problem with what should we talk about? Anyone ever I have nothing, even if you think there's nothing to say, wouldn't you say time flies? And that's never really a concern of what should we talk about? Right? Okay, cool. Anyone else? Thank you, love. Anyone else want to share Tara, what was initially going on?
So last year was my first stress detox. And I kind of knew Jeannie through her sister. So, and my son is a coach as well. So I kind of know the coaching world a little bit, but I agree with you. I think your name is Kristen. Yes, Kristen, because I had not been putting myself as a priority, and I was done with that. And I learned that in the stress detox, that I was kind of done. My kids were growing up and leaving the nest, so to speak, and it was time for me. And it was really hard because I'd been in therapy, and it wasn't doing anything. And so I kind of was just spinning my wheels. But I will say that what got me in the door was offering, I think I won a prize or something. And I got to be with Jeannie for an hour, and it was like I got the golden ticket to the chocolate factory. And I was just so excited because I was like, I won something. So and I have won so much more, let me tell you, because I am a different person today.
Oh, thanks, love. Yeah, we had some prizes last year. Thanks, Tara. Rachel G.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so just a bit about my story. I found Jeannie on Instagram. It was a whole day wellness workshop where all these people were coming in for 10 minutes at a time and showing their expertise, things to deal with stress and health. And Jeannie popped on and did like a 10-minute breathwork session. And I'd never done anything like that. And I felt so safe and at ease, and kind of like what Kristen was saying as well. I hadn't been in my body for so long. And I think especially this was like mid-COVID, I was super overwhelmed and, you know, just like wasn't taking care of myself. And then I started going to Jeannie's breathwork classes, and that felt amazing. And she started offering, you know, these 30-minute free connects with her to see what coaching could be like. And same thing, I took a few weeks. Every time she offered it, I was like, ooh, I don't know. You know, is that right for me? I was also seeing a therapist and wasn't doing anything for me. I was quitting that. I was like, that doesn't work. And then finally I signed up. I was like, you know what? It's 30 minutes. I love the way she makes me feel. Let's see how it is to chat with her a bit more. And yeah, I completely feel different today, and feel a lot more balanced in my life. So thank you, Jeannie.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Cool. Anyone else? And we'll kind of, okay, I'll do Christina and then Tali.
Hi, I'm Christina. I actually found Jeannie through my acting coach. She's telling me about it because I just started acting like last year, but I've been doing it for a while. And so there's a lot of things just like coming up as far as the acting world goes. It's a lot of stress. And then on top of that, I was diagnosed with MS in 2015. So I'm actually in a wheelchair. So it's very new to me. That was kind of like the thing that kind of catapulted me started to act, but then also kind of hindered me from doing it because I was always super scared of what people would think, because it's like, it's already, you see movies already and like everybody's doing action movies and they're running, jumping, kicking, and I'm like, I can't do any of that. And so I was talking to my acting coach about it, and I was like, I don't know what to do, like I don't know where to go. She's like, I got a great person you should meet up with. And I was like, really? And I was like, she's like, yeah, she does this breath work thing. She's like, you ever heard of that? And I was like, no, what is that? And she was like, you should look her up on Facebook or Instagram. And I was like, okay. And then so I looked up Jeannie, and then I was like, okay. And then I did a coaching, like a free coaching one-on-one with her. And I okay, I really, really like this. And then at first I was very hesitant about it. And I was like, I think this is crazy. Like, I'm not going to do this. Like who would do something like that? We finally got stuff set up. So I was able to coach with her. But from there, I've actually booked 2 jobs where I didn't have to audition for them with Jeannie, which is crazy because I already had one job booked from her after we had our first session. And then that same day after I finished that job, I got booked for another job without auditioning. And I was like, Jean, this is crazy. Like I'm booking jobs and I'm not even auditioning for them. And I was like, this is like crazy to me. And like, it's weird to say that, but Jeannie has helped a lot just as far as like my stress levels and understanding things. And to what we were talking about earlier, about the sadness about it. So I auditioned for 3 jobs. I didn't get any of them. I found out through my agent yesterday. And I wasn't upset. Like I was upset I didn't get it, but I did cry, but I wasn't upset for the crying. I wasn't upset at all. I was like more like, okay, I need to cry because if I don't, like I'm gonna hold on to it. So I did cry. I cried a lot. So and then I was like, okay, well, this is just part of the industry. I gotta get right back up and go for the next thing. So now I'm just preparing myself for the next things. So we'll see how those go. And I have hopes and just gonna keep moving forward.
Amazing. Yeah. And Christina and I have only worked together about a month so far. So she's one of my new clients. So amazing. Cool. And I know Megan too, you also had some interesting financial changes when we started working together. It's kind of that saying, I know it sounds like a cliche and we don't believe it, but like you jump and the net will appear, right? We worked together for your yoga because she's a new yoga teacher. She was a new, now she's not new. And oh yeah, I'm gonna come back to Tolly. Sorry, thank you. But I just want you to piggyback on that, Megan, because I think that story in the first month as well is really fun.
So I started working with Jeannie for my business, but we did our yoga training together. And then she posted that she's doing the stress detox. So that's how I found like that she did coaching. And I was not working at all. I had zero income. I wasn't doing my yoga because I really got in my head and I was like, I knew who would want to take classes from me. So I got on my call with Jeannie, and I think it was that day I was like, okay, like I'm going to work with you. I was like, but I don't have money to pay you. So like, and Jeannie said like, okay, well, we're going to manifest that. Like, well, that will be our first goal. Like, let's manifest getting that money. And if you spend money to get money, and I was like, okay, crazy person, like, but I don't have it, but I'm going to spend it anyways. And so we started working together. And within the first month, I started teaching yoga every week online, and I had 4 incomes by the end of that first month working with Jeannie. So it definitely started as a business coaching of like working through getting through yoga. And at this point, it's way more than that. I've realized that I had a lot of blocks that I didn't know I had. And just having open conversations with Jeannie has allowed me to like work through that. But same thing for me is I just opening up that door and accepting like, oh, I can have money, and working on that relationship within the month, I had way more than I thought I would. And yeah, and now it's a lot more than that. It's a lot of emotional work, and it's great.
Yeah, and 4 different revenue streams, which is amazing. Like 4 different, it wasn't just like 4, it was like all different areas. So amazing, great. Amazing. And if you haven't checked out her yoga, we'll have her. You should, and we'll give you all the links for that. That's amazing. All right, thanks, love. And then Tolly was going to share.
Yeah. So I guess my story is a tiny bit different. I've had chronic pain for something like 13 and a half years. And I'll just cut to the end. I think now I'm like around like 85% better and improving, and kind of know how to work on it. So for me, like I got to Jeannie through a friend, a recommendation. I was sharing with him, like just texting about like my pain and how I'm trying different things and different doctors and this and that, and just trying to Google endlessly, finding out like I have 100 different, things. It was a very confusing time for many years. And I just tried it out, and I was very, very not sure in the beginning, but there was one thing that made me go for it. Is in the trial session, Jeannie just told me like what I have, and I believed her. She said, you have TMS, and it kind of clicked with a few things that I heard here and there over many, many years. But the certainty in which she said it, and combined with the experience that she had herself and the similarities to my experience, just like I got it right away. Like, and that day was like a huge shift in my life to understand what I have. It's pretty incredible. And that was the beginning for me to heal for the first time. It's really amazing. And I'm really, really thankful to you, Jeannie, for that. And of course, there's much more like of how to work on this. But if anyone doesn't know what is TMS, it means that the pain is actually starting in your brain and sending signals that are real, that you really feel a lot of pain sometimes. Some people have immense amounts of pain, but it's not from any physical source. And I thought before it was like kind of a combination of this and that and my playing and blah, 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 and how I sleep and how I had the whole theory about it combined with stress, right? But actually I realized that it's all like completely comes from a different source. And it was a revelation, really. It was a true revelation, and now I'm kind of trying to spread the word because I know many people are suffering out there. So
yeah, and at the time of this recording, we've only worked together 3 months, so all that success was 3 months.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It was really like, I was kind of brainwashed, like in a good way. And yeah, and just you helped me understand it so well because you went through something like that yourself, and it just like I understood it. It just everything clicked. It was really
Awesome.
incredible. Still is.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. And then Rachel, I know you have Rachel S, like a mind body story as well.
Yes. So the TMS that Tali has, that is my story as well. TMS, for now it's known as the mind body syndrome. That's where, so Jeannie and I were friends for many years. And I knew that, well, Jeannie had told me at some point that she was able to heal her chronic pain, and then suggested to me that my chronic daily migraines were TMS. And Jeannie knows that at first my reaction was not like Tali's. Tali, I don't know. It's awesome that you were able to get on board so quickly. I was completely offended. I was like, how can you possibly suggest this? And God, I wish, I had been able to get on board more quickly, because it's just wasted time and wasted trying all this other medicine and all the, putting all this stuff into my body that never did anything for more than 20 years. Just insane things that I tried, and nothing ever worked. And there's a reason why, because the pain, the cause is not physical. And as much as the pain is physical, the cause is not. And with coaching with Jeannie, I was able to see, oh, I have to learn how to express emotions. And then Jeannie gave me so many other tools of what to watch, what to listen to. There's different videos and podcasts and movies and documentaries, and they're all so incredibly powerful. And I just looked back at a blog post that I wrote 18 months ago about living with migraines, my migraine story. And I sent to Jeannie, I think it was maybe 2 days ago, about an update that I sent to people saying 18 months ago, I wrote like, it was ridiculous how, that was my identity. I was someone who lived with migraines. And now it's like, no, I have this healing story. I don't need to take any preventatives. I hardly ever take anything for pain. And I'm just living. I'm just saying yes to everything, because I'm like, oh my God, I can do anything. The biggest thing for me was in December going back to Chicago and being able to jump on the trampoline with my niece and nephew. I could never just jump off the ground because I'd be afraid of like my brain moving in my head. I was like just experiencing this pure joy of jumping on a trampoline with them, knocking them around. And like my sister used to tell my nephew, who's now 11, that you have to be careful with Aunt Rachel. You gotta, be fragile. And I was like, and this time I said to her, like, I'm not delicate. Like, we can wrestle. It's awesome. It's so much fun now. So yeah, life is completely different. And I always tell Jeannie that I owe her everything, and that I now have a life worth living, because my life was not something, it was just going through the motions before, just surviving each day. And now I'm like beaming. I'm so happy. And it's Jeannie. So I'm so glad that everybody else found her too. And I love hearing everyone else's stories.
Oh, thanks, love. Oh my gosh. Yeah. She sent me I think it was 2 days ago, a life worth living. And she saw me suffering and like trying to manage and try to control anyone else. Just like, even if you don't have chronic, we're trying to control our emotions, control the stress, control the anxiety, control our emotions. And yeah, that's, whew. Okay, I have a couple questions for you guys, and if anything else comes up. And thanks, Leslie, for the beautiful comment. So what would you say, and you can just raise your hand and let me know, what would you say? Because I know when I talk to people one-on-one, and we have these free 30-minute calls, like I said, and then people have been really honest as clients, and they say like, I was really scared, right? So what would you say to someone who could be like you, has the Calendly link up to book a call for a few days, they're nervous? What's the best advice, especially if someone says, I'm not ready or I'm nervous? Anyone have, what would you say? Any ideas? Okay, Tara, and then Tali. And then
I was pretty nervous. Especially being on Zoom. So during the pandemic, we were teaching on Zoom. So, but teaching with kids and being with an adult is a big difference. And so I was a little nervous about that because my comfort zone is kids, because I'm a teacher. But adults, kind of freak me out sometimes. So it was a little hard to do that, to make the leap. But I think, and I don't remember, one of you wonderful people said it, but Jeannie puts you at ease immediately. You feel like, oh, this is my cousin, this is my sister, like we're just chatting and we're just talking. There's no pressure. And that's what she says to me all the time. No pressure, no judgment. And what? She's saying no judgment. I mean, it's just a judgment-free zone, and it's immediately felt as soon as you get on the Zoom with her. It's just amazing. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Megan.
I was gonna kind of say the same thing. For me personally, my fear came from like the fear of asking for help. And it was like, I have the tools somewhere in my mind and I know how to get past all the stuff I was dealing with, but I didn't have any accountability and nothing holding me to what I was saying. And for me, the fear was asking for help and it being okay to ask for help.
Good point.
And I think for people, if you are nervous or if it's something that scares you to start working with Jeannie, there's nothing that you can say or do that's going to push you to do that. You just, once you're on your own, decide like, hey, I'm ready for this. Just to know that Jeannie does make it so comfortable. And at no point does she push you so far into that panic zone. Like everything you work on is based on your process and where you are in your journey. For me, she's always encouraging certain things and she'll encourage it, but she'll know like, hey, if we're at panic zone, we back up. And so it is, I think, a personal moment to say, okay, I'm ready to ask for help or I'm ready to do this. And I don't think anyone could have said or done anything to have me get to that point before I was ready. But once I was, and I was like, all right, Jeannie, like, I don't have the money, but we're going to do it anyways. Once you start, like Jeannie will make sure that you are comfortable. You're not going to do anything that is out of your stretch zone. She'll make you stretch, but she will not make you panic. So I personally think you'll get there when the time is right for you. But when you do, it is so worth it. And you'll realize you have to work on things that you didn't even know were a problem. And it's going to be very beneficial.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Tali. And then Christina. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I did say that right away I was convinced that the diagnosis, or I guess the diagnosis is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have to be like the perfect scenario. You're ready, exactly, you're there,
Yes.
everything clicks, and then you do it, because that for me would never have happened. And I think like Jeannie, remember there were things that we really did not see like eye to eye, and like things that we don't agree. And I just said like, I don't think this, like for me it doesn't apply, and it was really open and it was totally okay. I didn't have to take everything like word by word. I could make my own version of things and take some and leave some. And Jeannie is so open with like accepting different points of views and like being sensitive to, for me this doesn't resonate, okay, let's call it something else, let's go in a different direction, sorry. And that really helped me. So I just knew I had a certainty that I have to do it because it's so important. And I don't have to be 100% ready, 100% agree with everything. It's not about that. It's about just like kind of opening up to things in my own pace, like exactly like you said, Megan, and just like taking everything I can that resonates with me. And I'm so happy I did it. It's really, really helped me.
Yeah. And just another thing too, especially with the TMS and the mind body, that's like the most resistance. And like, yeah, that's a great point, is that if you're working with me for mind body or TMS specifically too, you don't have to be 100, most like you're hearing, like we can still get a lot of stuff done, and it's like a process. So it's not, oh, I have to accept this for anything. And I think the other interesting thing too is, well, I'll ask another question about, we think we're hiring me for something and we do work on that. And then we do go into other areas, right? Because it's not, some people do just TMS coaching, and I obviously do a lot of different things. So awesome. Okay, Christina. Oh, it's still muted.
Okay. So fear, I guess, for me, I think it can either make or break you. I was already fearful with having multiple sclerosis. So that was already a thing in itself. But then acting, you have to put yourself out there. And so when I came to you, I wasn't fearful of what we were going to get involved in. I was more fearful of you making me get outside my comfort zone. With acting, yeah, there's things that I'm comfortable with, like with acting, like if they say do this or do that, like I'm cool with doing stuff like that because I took acting class in school before as well. But when you kind of made me get out of my comfort zone as far as breathing or taking time for myself, that was a little bit harder for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it was grateful in the end. I'm grateful for it in the end because it made me realize like I had to put myself first. And that was one thing I did not do a lot. I was always trying to make sure everybody else was good because I always had to I always wanted to make everybody comfortable because it was like already weird that they have to be around me. So I was trying to make everybody comfortable, but I guess that fear kind of went away as I don't have to make everybody comfortable. Like it kind of is what it is. And so that fear of having to talk with you it really went away after that.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Anyone else relate to feeling like we have to make other people comfortable and other people come first before us? Yeah. And I hear too, especially moms, I know some moms are here now. We've got moms in the panel, and moms are going to be watching this on the replay, and moms, ooh, I'm going to spend time and money on myself. Can any of my moms speak, or anyone else who's noticed kind of a ripple effect? Like, has this helped in anyone's romantic relationship or your family dynamic or other relationships? Anyone want to speak of? Yeah, Kristen.
So just to kind of piggyback off of what Megan said to you about asking for help to begin with, that's 1,000,000,000% me too. But also on top of that, one thing we worked on was just even receiving help. So whether or not I was even going to ask for it, if somebody offered me help, I would never take it because I figured I should be able to figure this out on my own.
Ooh, yes, I hear that all the time. Anyone else? I should be able to do this.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you.
Yeah. And that is a big one. And that ripple effect that one has very much rippled. So asking for help, receiving help. But when you were asking kind of about moms and putting yourself first and things like that. And Jeannie knows this, that I couldn't even figure out a way to find a time because COVID, everyone's home all the time. I couldn't even figure out a way to like have 30 minutes or 45 minutes behind a closed door by myself without being interrupted and if I did that, I did feel like very guilty. And what am I not doing? If I'm taking that time for myself, I am not doing something for my kids. I'm not, whatever. And now it's funny, right before I got on this call today, it's such a different shift in the dynamic, especially like with my girls. I said, okay, hey, I'm going to be here. I'm going to have the door closed. We're recording. So, whatever. And it's not, when are you going to be out or what, it was have a good call. And then it was also, I'll see you when you come out. And I think she said something like, have fun or something. It's just a different dynamic as far as that goes. And if I am in a breathwork class, they know, and I invite them to come in if they want to, but it's just, they are seeing how somebody can take time for themselves, that it's okay to take time for themselves and that it's healthy. And I can tell you, and I almost feel like I should bring them in. I'm a better mom because of that. And I've learned that taking time for yourself isn't just selfish and it's necessary. And having two girls, teenage girls, I think it's super, super important for them to have a sense of self and showing them what worthiness looks like and what self-love looks like. And so anyway, I think that's super, super important for all of us. And that was something that I did not do. I thought I did in my head. I thought, oh yeah, I'm showing them a strong, confident person, but I absolutely wasn't. So anyway.
Yeah. And I think also too, and then I'm not sure, Tara, did you want to add something? I can't, no, yes. Oh, okay. I didn't know if I saw your hand, but I wanted to say too, and just to reiterate, as a teacher and talking to a lot of moms, and this is just a panel of, some of my clients just know there's, and I work with men as well, but our panel today is women. And as obviously a daughter myself, I know when my parents are stressed. I know when the kiddos are stressed and the nervous systems co-regulate together, right? So I think, and I've seen people, families, not just moms, but also in partnerships, right? I'm not a relationship coach, but a natural byproduct, because you're able to be we're as women, especially, we're in our bodies, we're grounded, we're more connected. So we're going to be connected to self, and that's going to help us be connected to others, right? So romantic relationships can get more juicy when we're in our bodies. Like anything we do with a partner, a friend, if we're grounded and centered, we're not in our heads the whole time. So with our kids, working on ourselves too. And I love what you said, Kristen, about they see what self-love and worthiness and how are they, right? And I know a lot of us too, just to piggyback, like the beliefs that we have, they get transferred to our kiddos. So if there's, I work with a lot of people with food too. And so sometimes the beliefs or what we think about our bodies, like, oh, I don't like this, or just the messaging about like, it's not good enough, or I'm not good enough, they pick up on that. So when we can heal it on ourselves, either before we have kids or with our kids, all of it's great. It's helping heal some of this trauma and these beliefs that have gotten passed down without like us consciously choosing it. Yeah. Awesome. Did you want to say something, Tara, with like the family dynamic?
Sure. So my daughter is currently at home. Couldn't do Zoom, college on Zoom. Yeah. So she's home and has decided to not go back. And so that was really hard for both of us to work through that. But I think the best way I can describe how it is, when you're on the airplane and the flight attendants are going through and they say, you have to put your oxygen mask on first. I was always like, no, I'm not. I'm going to save my kid. Who cares about me? And that has totally shifted because I agree now with the flight attendants. I mean, I guess they do know something about flying. And so I really feel that I do have to heal myself for my daughter. So, and it's also good for my son to see too, and my husband. I think, Kristen, great story, because everything, even my kids are older, and clearly my husband is older. I call him my third child sometimes, because like he really, yeah, well, whatever. That's a whole nother Q&A. But I just think that they really are getting better at seeing that this is mom's time, and they're seeing that I'm feeling better about myself. And so you're right. I think spot on what you said. And I'm just happy. Like it's all fate, right? Why is my daughter home from school? Why does she get to see my transformation? So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of weird how the universe works, right? Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. And we'll just kind of wrap up. I know you guys, thank you so much for taking your time. I just have like one more question and then we can add anything else too. I think a big question, and we talked a little bit about this before, that people have done therapy, and there's some great therapists, of course, and some people had great transformations, but people that come to me usually are like, I did therapy, it wasn't helpful. Okay, maybe it's covered on my insurance. Oh, well, I should just do that instead because it's free. So can you just speak, anyone who wants, about like, how is this different than therapy? Because most of us have done it, or what's like different. And I know the accountability piece and the check-ins, if someone wants to share, like, this isn't therapy, and let me tell you why. So cool. We'll do Kristen and then Christina.
I'm just going to be super brief. This is something that Jeannie and I have laughed about a few different times, but I'm going to share it in here because I've done therapy too. And the big difference with Jeannie is I call her my AAA. And the A's stand for action, accountability, and but ass kicking in the best possible way.
Yes.
So it's it's huge. Like all three of those things I think are huge. And in therapy, it was always a place to vent. It was a place to talk about things, but not, there just really wasn't, for me anyway, in my experiences, there just, the action and accountability wasn't there. And I needed that to move forward. So anyway.
Awesome. Christina?
Yeah, I mean, I still go to therapy, but I don't go to certain therapies because it's when I did start therapy, I did have major depression and major anxiety, and they were so quick to put me on something, and it wasn't getting to the root of the problem. It was just kind of putting a band-aid on the surface. So it was like I still had the anxiety and depression. And it was like, okay, well, these pills aren't doing anything. So what's the point of me doing all of this? And I'm not saying anxiety meds and depression meds are bad. I'm not saying that at all. But it's like, if I'm not getting to the root of the problem, that was my biggest issue, is because it was still there and it was still surfacing. And so when I started working with Jeannie, we got to the root of the problem. So it wasn't like, I still have my anxiety and depression, but it's not as bad as it was before. It's, instead of just slapping a band-aid on it, I'm actually having to pick at the scab and go through the wound and talk about like what exactly is on the surface and what's underneath the surface and what's underneath that. And so that to me is a huge thing. So that was really good.
Awesome. And we've only been working together 1 month, baby. So we're going to get there. Don't worry. Yeah. And who, raised your hand, has like checked in with me on an off time? Like who's like sent me a text message and been like, I need some support, or who's gotten a text from me? Like, I haven't heard from you in a while, like checking in. Would you say that like that relationship is different than therapy? I mean, I'm sort of like, my unofficial policy is like, oh, on the weekends, I'll get back to you on Monday. And like, I'm usually back to you with, like right away. So was that different than what you expected in terms of like having support? You knew you could reach out. Yeah, Tali?
Yeah, I just want to really mention that the level of care and combined with how professional you are, Jeannie, is really, really amazing. I felt like you were kind of like not letting me go, like in a good, like you're there, really like in a very reliable way. And I felt like at no point like I have to do it because if not, it's not cool. Like I have to check in like a couple times a week. Sometimes I messed up, but you were always there, accepting, reacting so fast, like really to the point of what I said. And I sometimes left like 15-minute long, just like so in tune. And so I felt like it's almost like I'm the only client, really. And you really were so connected to what I'm saying all the time and so much there. And that's something I didn't know from the trial session because I haven't had an opportunity to experience it. I didn't know that there are check-ins and everything, but check-in could be like, okay, check, did it, bye, like done. But it was never like that. And it was really, really special that you were there all the time. I actually really like therapy. I do it still. It's just a very different thing. It's super different. It's not exactly with a target. We're going there, like not with that amount of certainty and with like the homework, but that is really like clear. There's some kind of clarity and like directional thing that's, for me, it's different than therapy. That is more like a space to just like work things, like just go in different places, but it's not very directional. And also, for me, for the pain, I had to do this with someone who's got through this herself. I had to. I tried different things, like even like Headspace, the meditation app. I did that before with the chronic pain program. I didn't get what we're doing. Like it didn't help because I had to have someone guide me the way, very like in a very real way, So it's just totally different. I just needed this.
Thank you. Yeah, someone was on our the third session, our third day, and said something about therapy, and I'm like, it's just apples to oranges, baby. It is completely different, right? It's something different. So it's a different approach. And just also to piggyback with the check-ins, just so people know, they're all customized. So if someone says, and they change. So when people work with me in the beginning, sometimes it's 3 times a week. And then clients can say, hey, Jeannie, I only need twice a week. It's super customized. So I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, nope. It's like customized to what your needs are and they change. Yeah, Christina.
I was gonna say, like, your check-ins are pretty quick too, because I just did a check-in actually with her today. Not like just to like let her know what was going on, because I'm doing the 3-day, but some stuff came up, and so I was kind of like, and I ended up messaging her yesterday to let her know, like, this is what happened and I'm feeling like this and I don't know. And then you messaged me, and I thought you were too busy with this, so I was like, she'll probably get to me on like Sunday or Monday or whatever, and I was fine with that. But you got to me today and I was kind of shocked that you did, and you were like, it's okay to feel sad, and I was like, why is she talking to me about this? She has other things to be worried about.
That was yesterday, actually. I sent it yesterday.
So it was nice to know that you read my message and you put something aside to get back to me. And that to me was very heartfelt, very meaningful, because it was like I was already kind of beating myself up, not in a bad way, but just like, dang, I wish I did that. But then to have you reach out to me really meant a whole lot to me.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And I know, Tara, that happened recently for you too. Something happened and you reached out. And that is part of the journey and the growth, because just like a few people said, we feel all the feelings of like reaching out. Oh, I don't want to bother her. And actually can we like agree, right? And this is why I keep my clientele roster, right, at a lower number. Like I don't have 30 clients, 20 clients. Like I keep a smaller roster so that I can do this and it's like high touch coaching. I'm not like, oh, I'll have my assistant get back to you next week. Right. So yeah, I know Tara reached out something and immediately it was like a voice text. So I want you to hear it, baby. I want you to get it. And she got it. And yeah, we could just have talked about it on our next session. And, not everything, sometimes someone leaves me a quick 30-second Voxer. It's like an app that we use, maybe I don't know all of it. So it's like, I don't perfectly know the situation, but if I know that I can help or if there's some shifting and we can get some kind of instant shift, I think that's amazing. Okay, you guys. So I know I've kept you here a long time. We'll just wrap this up. I'm so grateful. Any last thing that I didn't, ask you maybe, or just feel on your heart to share? If you're like, oh, she didn't ask me this question, or just wanted to share, anyone who wants, and then we'll close this out. We good? Okay, so I'm so grateful. Leslie says, let me read hers. Thank you so much. Awesome. And if you're watching this now or in the replay, I don't know if the chat's going to show up with the link, but we'll drop the link into the chat. And I'm not sure on this recording if it'll show up in the chat, that you can reach out and talk to me further. So let's go ahead and just do a big wave to everyone. Yeah.
Oh, can Megan Horton, I know that you do yoga. Is there a way that you can put in a link for your website so we can go look at that?
Her Instagram.
Yes, I would love that. I have my Instagram, my email, and I would love to share that.
Okay, thanks.
Do it right now. Well,
do you have that available right now, Megan, or do you want me to?
I can just type it in.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. And her first class is free and she's doing it every first Saturday of the month.
Saturday.
So if you're watching the replay, reach out to me and we'll get you contacted. Give me their Instagram handle out loud in case someone's listening.
It's at Kind Body Yoga.
Okay. And it's great. Our teacher training together.
Yeah. And then I'll put my email also, because you can shoot me an email if you don't want to do Instagram.
Awesome.
Sorry, it's taking me longer because I'm on my phone.
All right, my ladies and gentlemen who are watching, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll go ahead and just stay on if you want to say anything, if you have to jump off, of course, but sometimes it's nice to do like a little debrief, like just for 2 minutes. All right, so we're going to stop the recording. Everyone say bye. Bye. Thank you. And we are going to